Alright guys, what I've done here is I've walked this here upper part of this frame of this here. I marked this rubber, I marked this spring so I can keep this all correlated together. Now this, according to the manual, this spring should have a stop, and it should be a stop there on the, up on this here rubber upper isolator. So anyway, I've never taken this out, so I'm just kind of like doing a little precaution here. So we're going to get ready to take this here spring out. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and lower this jack. Now I may have to take and lower the jack over there. You know how much pressure this thing is pushing up, so we're going to just kind of go with it and see where it takes us. All right, so I'm going to lower the jack down. Okay. We got all the tension off now. Now let's see if we can just push this thing down.
Oh, nice.
That was too easy. Something's going to have to happen. Okay, that came out pretty good. Let's take a look at this one right here. Let's take a look. Alright, so here's that stop. Here's the end of the spring right here. And then here's the, now that end of that spring should be right there, bottomed out to the end. Looked like we had a little bit of gap, maybe not. Let me take him on out. There we go. Okay. Doesn't look too bad to me. Okay. But that's how he would go back in. And then this here end of the spring will go right up next to that right there. Alright. Now, does it matter how it goes in? I don't know. Probably not. Okay. But I guess what we'll do is we'll put it back in the same position. As you can see, I still got it marked up there. But my guess is it probably doesn't matter. It's where it goes in. But this part, like I said, does matter as far as in, you want the end of that spring right to the stop that's on that rubber. Okay. Alright, this rubber mount here, I was, making a comparison. I got some new ones here. I figure with this thing, with the years that's on it, this rubber might be, a little bit hard. You can take a look right here. See, one thing you can see, this is the new one, this is the old one. See how this one has an oblong hole versus the one on the left that has a, a round hole. This area up in here, to me, feels a little bit harder, stiffer. This one over here is a lot more pliable, softer. Okay, so anyway, we're going to be putting new rubber mounts in there also. Alright guys, right down here, this is where the lower part of the spring sits on. Now that's like a little retainer that goes all the way around. As you can see, it is right there. Now I'm looking at it, I mean, it looks okay, but I've got actually I got the new parts for this right here. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to replace that. We're going to take him on out, and then we're going to put the new one on in its place. Now let me show you what the new one looks like. Now here's our spring. Remember, we had our rubber up here on the top. Now down on the bottom, you remember you saw this piece right here. Now that's what it looks like. Okay, it'll go down just like that. There's the back side. Now what this is going to do, it's going to go and it's going to fit up in there just like that. Okay. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to start, I'm going to go ahead and try to get this here piece off of this over here.
Oh, good.
That came out pretty good. Let's go get the other one, guys. Let's see if we can get this spring out over here. Alright, you might need a little persuasion. Got a little bit of a pry bar here. There he goes. Had a little help push down on it. Okay. You gotta notice this one right here. You notice that the hole is round, where on the other side, you know, it was oblong shape. Okay. Again, it does feels harder than the new one, so he's going to get replaced anyway. Okay. Let's get the that retainer ring out. Well, it's not one of these things that, you know, just slides right off. Maybe it does. Maybe it's kind of, you know, kind of corroded on there a little bit. A little hammer and a screwdriver. Let's see if we just can pry this one off of there. Yeah, you don't want to come off as easy as that other one. There we go. Alright. Hey, looking at him, I mean, he looks alright. But it's not that expensive, so while we're here, we'll just replace that one too. Okay, we'll clean all this up. Alright guys, there's only one other items here that I can think of that we need to take a look at. And that's these here rear bushings. There's one here, and there's one over on the other side. Now, you can come with two different types. I think one is a hydraulic type, and then there's one that's a rubber bonded type. And I believe this one is a hydraulic type from looking at the info in the service manual. Now I'm looking at it, I'm trying to see if there's cracks in it, you know, see if there's anything obvious that's going on. I don't see anything, but that may not be a very conclusive test. Now what I'm going to try to do here, and this may not be the best test either, but if there's any kind of slop up in that bushing, my thinking process is that I'm going to get this jack, and I'm going to jack it up, and I'm going to kind of push up on this bushing. Maybe I can see some kind of slop if there's, you know, any kind of thing that's going on there. So let's get the jack up. What I'm doing, I got the jack, it's just right up under here, right up around the where the bushing is at, on the outside housing up here. So this idea is I'm going to try to jack on it a little bit, and I'm going to look to see if there's any kind of movement there in that bushing. And I do not see any at all. And I got a good amount of pressure on it. Okay. I'm going to lower the jack. Now there is one other thing here I see. There's a slot here on this bracket on this one side where this here bushing housing fits up into. It's like a U-shaped bracket. If you can see it right here where my finger is, there's a hole right here. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a screwdriver, and I'm going to push this screwdriver up underneath this bushing housing. And I'm just going to pry down on it just to see if I can see any kind of movement. And I do not see any. And now that may not be the very best test, but if there was any kind of slop in that bushing, I would think I would see something, you know. I mean, I really don't want to be dropping this whole axle down to try to get in there to replace that. And these bushings are pressed in. I mean, no big deal. I mean, we could drill it out and pop it out and put some in there. But at this point right now, I'm going to say this bushing looks okay. So I'm going to do the same thing over on the other side, and we'll see what that looks like. Guys, this is on the other side. Maybe you can see the bushing a little bit better now. What I'm doing is I'm taking a jack and I'm putting up underneath this here housing, and I'm pressing up on it or jacking up on it, and I'm looking for any kind of movement in this here, you know, in this here rubber bushing here. Also, here's that hole right there that I'm taking a screwdriver, just a Phillips screwdriver, and I'm just kind of prying down in there like so. You see I'm right there, and I'm just kind of pushing down on it, prying to see if I can see any kind of movement. And I've already done the jack and I didn't see anything there, and I don't see anything here. So you know what, this guy, I want to say these bushings are okay. I don't see any splits, you know, anything like that that's obvious. So this may not be the best test for this, you know, as far as in checking these bushings. I mean, obviously if we drop this whole axle down, then we can inspect it a little bit better. But you know, that's a little bit ordeal here. So I'm going to call it that these bushings are okay. And in the next video, we'll start putting all this stuff back together that we took off. And then we'll see, hopefully that'll take care of this here issue that we're having with this noise. Alright guys, y'all stay tuned, and we'll see you guys in the next video.